hope you pick up your phone. Talk to you. All right, where do I need to go? It's like this heavy Mexico filter, dude. We were right. Initially, we were right. We were griping about this yesterday, and I said, you know what? Maybe we're critiquing too much on this new game. But oh, fuck. It's certainly a very yellow game. Hold on. Gotta navigate my way down here. What's up, pimps? Get on marathon? Nah. I did get on. Hey, what's up, Austin? How you doing? I saw a bunch of people. Like, I was so excited. Yesterday, I streamed. What's this game called? The Elder Scrolls Oblivion, new game that came out. And I was like, oh my God, a Bethesda game. This is incredible. I was so excited to play it, and I streamed it all day yesterday. Had a blasty blast. And then the next day I get on and I'm like, I'm ready to stream again. I can't wait to get on Oblivion. I get on, all my friends are streaming fucking Marathon. I'm like, what the hell's Marathon? And I looked at it, some sort of like Bungie game. I said, Bungie? In 2025? We don't Bungie. We play, we're done with that Bungie shit. We only play Bethesda games now because that's the only developer that hasn't lost its reputation in this day and age. So we stand Bethesda in this stream. Not really. They're two fucking shitty developers, but Oblivion rocks. Marathon, the jury's still out on that. I don't even really know what it is. Is it like a running game? You like run or something? It's not really my style. What is Marathon? Oh, it's a Halo 3 type thing? It's an extraction shooter? Whoa! All those are so good. So I'm glad they're adding to the subgenre. It's an extraction shooter that will die soon enough. Yeah, there's like, oh, I love that term. Port Cujo. I love that term, Tarkov killer. It's like people already scream and gnash their teeth at the leader of the subgenre, extraction shooters. They scream at Tarkov, and then every game that comes out that's inferior across the board, they go, this is the Tarkov killer. I'm like, really? All right, if you say so, hombre. If you say so. Sam, why no 5XL merch? Because I want all you big fat fuckers naked and oiled up. That's why. Because I got a fat fetish. Okay? I don't want to put clothes on you if you're 5XL. I want to see you naked. I want to see you strutting around. I want to see, you know, the only thing I want to cover you with is a fucking handful of Crisco on a hot summer day. Rubbing it on you. Watch you glisten in the sunlight. I ain't putting clothes on you if you're 5XL. Not on my fucking watch. You kidding me? Oh yeah, hear a fat boy sizzle in the sunlight? Are you kidding me? I'd pay money for that. All right, dude. I'm sorry. If you're like a super fat guy like 5XL and you're watching this, I actually don't want to sexually assault you. I was kidding. That was a joke. If you're a Twitch admin and you're watching this right now, I don't want to sexually assault all the fat people. But if there isn't a Twitch admin here, if the Twitch admin's gone, and you're 5XL, you watch your back. All right. Hold on. I was going to do something brave. I was going to do something insane. There was a lady here I'm supposed to see. Her name's like Skriva. Oh, she's right in front of me. Jesus Christ. And her door's locked. Is it too late for me to go in there? Hold on. Independent thievery. I need to find Scriva. She might have something for me. She's 109 feet away. Where's she at? She's over here somewhere. Dude, don't it? After all that huge... After all that I just said, then you immediately went, but what about marathon? Fuck you, dude. I'm not doing marathon. Am I crazy, or did I just see that guy bleed a little bit?
I'm sorry, but I'm really not one for engaging in conversation. Please, leave me.
Okay. Did she leave? Oh, there's multiple pins. Is it just telling me to leave the fucking town? Is she outside? Are you gonna be a vamp guy? There's no way, dude. I'm not being a vampire. That shit's twisted. Those people are evil. Now look at this. Now it's telling me to go back in. There's no winning here, dude. Should you get the Minecraft meal for lunch today? I never had the pleasure of getting the Minecraft meal, so go ahead. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait here for 12 hours till it's 9:30 in the morning. Scriva might be at her fucking house. Sam, what's your opinion on Hunt? Is the game too far gone from what it was originally? You know, funny you should bring that up. Yeah, Hunt show, like a lot of shows and stuff deal with it. I even deal with this, like when I'm making videos and stuff, especially if I'm making sequels to things. You got me caught up in a tangent now. But when you make like episode 1 of something, you go, okay, episode 2 has to one up it in some way. And then episode 3 has to one up it in some way. And so it gets more and more ridiculous. And then all of a sudden, you know, you got the fawns going over a shark on water skis. Like very quickly it goes off the rails and loses its intended, like its original groundedness. And I feel like Hunt Showdown it had a very grounded beginning. And now they're like, fuck it, dude. Make the next hunter like a marionette doll. And he's got a big laser blaster as his gun. And fuck it, put a dragon in there too. I don't care. Like it's gotten to that point. They don't give a shit anymore. Not that they don't give a shit. It's just you can't scale it back now. It's been built up. If you scale it back, it'll be seen as like retreating almost. And so the only option that you have really is you either have to just I don't even know what you do at that point. I don't. I'm trying to think of an instance where someone successfully regrounded something that was, The only people I can think of would be the RuneScape people. And you know they had like a very tough day in the boardroom when they were like, hey, you know all this work we did for 10 years? Let's fucking cut it off like like it's cancer and go back to OG RuneScape. And I think the OG RuneScape was more popular than everything that they had done since then, like the 07 RuneScape. So, which I'm sure if you were a developer and like a writer and stuff, that would fucking kill me. I would cry. I would go home and cry. But yeah, I think Hunt is kind of along those lines right now. The map design, I think the actual gameplay wise, it's probably still good, but I just played so much of it. I mean, fuck, I got like 600 hours or something in that game, dude. Like, how many hours do you expect to get from a game before you're like, I'm done. I'm done with this. Some people play like Tarkov for 2,000 hours and then go, this game's fucking shit. I think that's one of the best games I've ever played. I just played a lot of it.
What can
now
a
I'm done.
Holdoyan do for a sly thief?
Okay. This is going to be radical, guys, and I don't want you guys to be upset. But wait, can I not sell stuff to this lady?
You are unproven, or at least insufficiently proven for the tasks this one has available. Gold is the blood of the Thieves Guild. Keep the fences busy and rich. Then come to see me.
You bitch. Okay.
Shadow hide the hunter.
I have to go steal some more stuff. Okay, but you know what, guys, this is what I was going to say anyways. Okay, so no argument here. I know you guys are not going to argue with me. The drip here is immaculate. I'm looking good. I'm looking like I'm ready to pick up high value women. Okay. Women from good bloodlines in the Imperial City. Okay. That's what I'm after, really, more than anything. I'm looking for a woman that, you know, I definitely, by matching with her, I stand to gain a lot of property, possibly influence within the Imperial City. This outfit is good. The black and burgundy outfit, although regal, is also good. Doesn't match as much, but it's also good. But the problem with these is that they're stolen. And if I get in trouble with the... Ooh, that's showing off my wrinkles a little bit too much. I'm going to put that back on. If I get in trouble with the law...
abomination on my screen?
I don't
Fucking
want
hideous.
them to take my
Also,
clothing.
That's a cool character, homie.
Dude, what the hell? Don't shit on my character. He's handsome, dude. He's got generations of aristocratic breeding. That's why he looks like this, okay? That's the sign of nobility right there. It's called a Habsburg jaw. Look it up. Read a book. Also, I have this green doublet that I don't have any pants for, but that thing goes fucking hard. So what I need to do is I need to fence this stuff. And I'm going to default back to this mage's robe. I know, it looks pedestrian. Looks like I'm a little bit poor. But then I'll take my earnings and I'll go to the finest tailor in the Imperial City and get some proper clothing. If you guys, I mean, do they sell stuff like this? I'm sure there has to be a tailor in town that sells good shit like this. If not, I'm going to be upset. I'm going to go hit up my boy Ognar up in Bruma. I should be able to sell some stuff to him. Oh, there's a nice clothes place. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to fucking see. There's more questions. Oh, wait. I can sell it and buy it back?
Bring back Sheckelstein.
I didn't know I could do that. Hold on. Let me see. If I sell it to Ognar, does it launder it, so to speak?
I'm really tired. Can we get on with this?
Yes.
You got some hot property.
I'm going to sell that. Sell this
I
ring.
think I can move this. You drive a hard...
Oh, wait. I'm going to haggle. Get this up a little bit. Get my money up.
I can't make that deal, even for you.
Bring it 50% of value.
That's a good deal.
Okay. Divining the Elder Scrolls. That's 26 bucks.
I think I can move this item for... You've
Green
made a
doublet.
good bit of gold. I think I can move this item for
I
you.
shouldn't have
You drive
sold
a
that.
hard bargain. That's
Oh,
a
well.
fair deal. A fine transaction.
I have 3 pairs of stolen pants.
I think I can move this item for you at that price.
All right, now if I buy it back, it's not stolen? Are you kidding me? All right, hold on. I still have the pants on. I want to get the blue, I think just the blue velvet outfit. Dude, it launders it.
I'm glad that's done.
That's awesome. Get out of here.
Hide you.
I did not realize my boy was a laundering scheme as well. Okay. Dude, look at that ass. It's incredible. Did Sam just discover fencing stolen shit? No, I discovered that I didn't realize I could buy it back and it wasn't stolen no more once I buy it back. Okay. I'm still going to the Imperial City because I want to go steal a little bit more, get my stealing up. And I think I want to go see, I've heard tell there's a guy outside the city gates that sells lockpicks since I keep running out of those. What the fuck? Sam making up for his lack of a jawline by overcompensating in Oblivion is fucking funny. I'm sorry. What? Hold on. We got the same jawline, dude. I think he's like smiling a little bit. Hold on, let me see. Oh wait, I tried to do that on the OBS screen. Yeah, he's like doing a little smile. It's me. It's me. It's literally me. Oh, I'm sorry. Is music too loud? I'll turn it down. Oh, yeah. I'm supposed to be looking for a little guy. He's got the coolest name I've heard of in this town. And I've heard he's in one of the alcoves. The alcoves. The nooks and crannies. The alcoves. Oh, the nooks and crannies.
Hey, you. You need something special? Check out my wares. You won't find this stuff at your local general store, that's for damn sure.
I'm too white for this music. This is Young Lean. He's Swedish. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I went to Vince Staples. I'm sorry. When I turned it down, it was Young Lean. Oh my God, I'm turning this up. Yeah, this is... I don't know about this, guys. I'm scared. Hold on, let me move my wallet to my front pocket. I'm scared, guys. This music's so scary.
What can I interest you in?
All right, what does he have here? All items. He's got lockpicks. How much are these? I have $360. They're $6 a piece. I'm gonna haggle up to 50%. I'm gonna buy 15 of them. Bingo. Lots of poisons though, and skooma, which gives drain agility on self, damage intelligence, fortify strength, fortify speed. So I get really strong, really fast, but stupid as shit and clumsy. So skooma is just like alcohol, I guess.
Thank you for your patronage.
It's like this world's alcohol. Wait, this world already has alcohol, so I really don't know the comparison there. I guess like PCP. You ever see where people are on PCP and they like the cop shoots them 6 times and then they chew off the cop's face? They're still alive. They can't they can't be stopped by mortal means. Oh yeah, meth I guess would be a good comparison. Skooma is bath salts.
You have my ear, citizen.
Can you guys give me a rundown on what exactly bath salts are? I remember they were like all the rage. People were complaining. Like even my grandparents were like, "You gotta watch out for bath salts." I'm like, "Do you even know what bath salts are?" Because I don't know what bath salts are. I don't really know what that shit is. All right, I need to go to the Market District. It's a psychostimulant. The lore of bath salts was inflated. Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard anybody like actually give me a rundown on what the hell it was. And what it do. Trade goods. What is this? Good as new merchandise. Red diamond jewelry. That's probably expensive shit. Okay, wait. It's the middle of... Ooh, it's... Okay, it's getting into nighttime right now. I need you guys Out of all these places in the market district, which place do you think I should break into that will give me the biggest net of money? I'm gonna, let's see here. Three Brothers Trade Goods, Good as New Merchandise, the Feed Bag, or Red Diamond Jewel. I think the Jewelry Shop and possibly a Fighting Chance. The Jewelers, Good as New Merchandise. Armor has weight problems. Jewelers is super light. You guys are as wise as you are handsome. Okay. Give this a little crouch. Ooh. 2, 3, 1, 2. Fuck. 1, 2, 3, 1. These are painful. There we go. Bingo. Yeah, the picking yesterday was.
Get out of here.
Yeah, all right, boss. Who the fuck just like closes down shop and sits down in a chair by the window for 20 minutes? Fuck. To reload that. Okay, I'm gonna wait until the wee hours of the night when that guy's gonna be napping. Where's the guy from Discord that does bath salts when you need him? I didn't realize there was a guy that did that. That's kind of awesome. I need to go get the skeleton key. I think, isn't that like a Daedric quest or something? Maybe I should go do that. How do I do that? Fuck. Three, 4. Fuck. 1. Oh, that one was slow. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 3. 4. 1. There we go. Okay. Needs a key. Very hard. You guys didn't tell me this was going to be very hard. A velvet garment. A bronze necklace for 10 gold. Some gold trim shoes. Needs a key to get in here. Come on, dude. I thought this stuff would be a little bit easier to open. It's like what are the chances of me getting through this? Quick save here. You're a thief, figure it out. Yeah, I know it. I would fucking, in real life, I would just, I would elbow it. And when he comes down the stairs to stop me, I'll fucking, right in the top of the head. But for some reason, the guards in this game, the second someone goes, oh, help! They hear you from across the goddamn town and come running. Oh, he has a key in his pocket. Interesting. Very interesting. And you said he's upstairs, you said. Upstairs, you said, and I can go up there and kill him with one strike, you said. Very easy to get up here. Oops. Okay. Oh my god, and he's a virgin loser. He's sleeping alone. I can kill this guy in 2 fucking seconds. All right, let me save one more time for the culture. Okay.
By the non-divine. Assault! Assault!
You can't. You're paralyzed, you dumb bitch. Shut up.
Oh! 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 Oh!
Oh my God, you're. Jesus Christ, that was loud. Whoa, but he has very expensive shoes. Ooh, and clogs. Is that something I can wear? Nah, I don't need those. Okay. Yeah, that was insane. If I was given a spell in high fantasy times, I was given a spell that was labeled, advertised as paralyzing on touch. And then the second I paralyze someone, they are screaming like the Dickens. There would be a class action lawsuit against the manufacturer of that spell, I think. Ooh, damn. Look at that big old piece of ham. You just left all this shit out? And a cheese wedge? And some skooma? Damn, and more skooma? This guy's a fiend. You're an absolute fiend.
It's all over, lawbreaker. Your spree is at an end. I'll take any stolen goods you have. The next move...
Like I said!
Pay your fine.
Like I said! What the fuck? How did you even know? I'm upstairs. He heard his paralyzed cries. Okay. You know what, dude? I'm going to resist arrest. And I'm going to go back. This is a little thing that this is a system I developed yesterday. It's called save scumming. It's actually pretty ingenious. What you do is you save before you do something risky. And then if it doesn't work out, you reload. It's a new game. New tactics come with new games. So if you guys ever use this, call it Sam scumming. That's what we're labeling it now. Looks like pussy shit. What? It's a new game, dude. You can't call stuff pussy shit right off the bat. Okay. Oh, really? Oh, you're just gonna wake up.
For the love of Azura, can't a man have a bit of privacy? Get out of here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm Sam scamming. Move a little bit at a time. That way he has no idea. Okay. I'm gonna save here. Check his pockets. You know what I should do? Is I should, oh, my sneak is increasing bigly. Hello. Now I'm directly behind you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Imagine waking up and rolling over, and this fucking guy was staring over you. You know how horrifying that would be? I'd probably just kill myself. I woke up and I saw that guy. I would fucking turn my own head backwards. That's insane. Okay, so this time we gotta keep it quiet. We gotta keep this assassination quiet. You worm!
For the love of Azure.
How'd you wake up?
What's going on? You're pathetic.
Punch you in the fucking cock until you die, dude. All right, now let me see if the fucking copper heard me. Hold on, before I steal everything. Oh, shit. I don't think he yelled out that time. Usually he goes like, "Oh, help, help." They did not hear. No, that time they didn't hear because I was so quiet the way that I beat his ass. And he gracefully died quietly, which is a rarity. Usually people in this game, they get all fucking uppity and loud when they get murdered. Which is what, like, as a murderer, I bet you hate that. Those people that scream as they're getting murdered. It's like, bitch, you trying to get me caught? This is my life's work that you're upending by being so fucking noisy. Very nice. You get the skooma. Skooma is actually the most expensive thing here. Okay. Oh, shit. Maybe I should get up here. Hold on. Take that. Take that. All right. I still have to break into that shit. Here we go. Bit and bridle key. Bingo! A blue silk shirt. That's what I did all that asking for? Oh, wait. This is worth 200 bucks. That's huge. Jeweled amulet? That's huge. This is very hard. But there's more amulets in there, dude. Look at these. Look at this one. Here we go. The bit and bridle key. Oh, my lord. You guys were right, by the way, on the I should break into the jewelry store because I do not think I would get a haul like this.
It's all over.
Fuck!
Your spree is at an end. I'll take any stolen goods you have. The next move is yours. Pay your fine, or I'll haul you away. Then pay with your blood.
Shut up, worm. Stupid fucking bitch getting in the way of me getting all my shit stolen. Leave him paralyzed. Yeah, for what? Exactly, for what? Excuse me. What? So I put something in my pocket that wasn't mine. I get an arrow in my back?
Fight you'll get.
Fuck you.
You're pathetic.
The kill was seen. There was a notification when you killed him. Seen by whomst? By whomst? It wasn't even, I don't even think I was wanted for murder because it was only a bounty of 40 bucks. There's no way you can get away with killing a shop owner for $40. That's a measly amount of money. Let's see if this guy follows me as far as that guard did yesterday. That guy acted like that. I stole something from like a countess, and her personal bodyguard chased me across the entire map yesterday. I was like, dude, she's not gonna fuck you. If you get the necklace back, she's not gonna suck your dick. There's no reason for you to follow me this far. Let's see if this guy's on it. Look at him, he's swimming. He's right there. Oh, that's a little mud crab. Never mind. Hey, mud crab. I guess the guy's gone. Oh, that's nice. I'll just get over here and then fast travel. Sheckelstein would not have these problems. You've fallen off. Yeah, Sheckelstein would kind of orchestrate some way of buying the Imperial Guard. Some sort of plot. He would have some sort of plot ready. But these are early days, my friend. I'm on my Littlefinger arc. We're at the very beginning of the thieving days. Maybe later in my career. All right. I think this guy's mud crab might be. I'm just gonna have to kill him. He's over there looking at me still. Look at him. He's pacing back and forth. He wants it. Give him the old 1-2. Okay. Now, where do I go again for extra? Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Skriva is not she's not a lady I can fence stuff to, is she? She's kind of an a-hole because of that. She just gives me missions. I wish she would fence things too. Is the remake goated or no? You know, I was talking with somebody about this yesterday. I don't think it's as necessary of a remake as, let's say, like Age of Empires 2 with their definitive edition. It's not like the end all be all, and it wasn't super necessary, but I think it's good. And at the same time, though, I am curious. Oh, Jesus Christ! I am curious about
really
the.
tired. Can we get on with
Is there going to be modding for this or no? Because I saw somewhere that I saw somewhere that there wasn't going to be modding for this, and if that's true, that makes my heart hurt. That makes me sad. Oh, there's already mods? Then that sounds awesome. Then yeah, I would say this is a good remake.
You got some hot property.
Yeah, I'm going to sell this shit. Let's see. I'm going to mark this up to 55%.
I can't make that deal, even
Fuck
for you.
you. This poor little Nord bitch in his stupid little Nord hut
You got a great deal there.
won't take my money. There we go. Is there a faster way of selling these than just doing them one by one?
I think I can move this item.
Dude, look at the money. Money going up. 570, 671,
That price. I think I
873.
for you. I think I can move this item for. That seems a fair price.
Silver necklace.
I think I can move this
Skooma,
item for
all
you.
three
That's
of 'em.
right. I think I can move this item.
He's
for
not
you at
moving
that
anything.
price. I'm glad that's done.
Yeah,
I
you-
need a nap.
No, you don't need a nap. I know exactly what that guy's doing. He's taking those 3
Shadow
skooma
hide you.
and he's going to drink them the second I walk out. There we go. Oh yeah, there's hold on. I do want to give like a micro update because there was a guy that said he took the day off to J off and play the remake. There's been people asking about the take the day off to J off shirt in the merch store, whether or not it's coming back. I'm trying to get like merch that doesn't suck balls. And so I'm ordering like shitloads of samples and stuff. And I got take the day off to J off shirt design that, well, I'm sorry to say I made it. I designed it. So and I drew it with my drawing skills. So it probably sucks, but I think it looks cool. And right now I'm getting labels made that say the shekel scheme, and they're gonna be like, wait, hold on, this shirt has one. It's got like one of these on there, but it will be at like the bottom. And I'm trying to get like a bottom like shekel scheme tag, and then one back here where, so it seems like, you know, like a legit nice shirt. And I'm trying to get a better quality shirt. There's those Comfort Colors cotton shirts that fucking rock. I love those things. But they don't make them with like modifiable tags. So maybe I would just have the Comfort Color tag back here, and then the bottom would say shekel scheme on that tag. But it's in the works. All that stuff takes time. And I'm kind of a one-man operation right now until, well, probably forever, because I don't like working with people a whole lot unless they're cool. And that's kind of hard to find. It's kind of hard to find swag people. So from which Indian sweatshop did you order them? No, all this shit's made in America, so it's gonna cost like $1 gazillion. I was honestly, hold on, let me go back to Breville. I was in talks with joining this this group that they do cool merch drops, and I was sitting there like laying down all these merch ideas,
Can you spare a coin?
and some of them were like ashtrays, and they were like, yeah, we can do an ashtray, but all their factories are in China. And then I was like, okay, I'll think about it. And then and then all those tariffs got dropped, and all of a sudden I'm like, wow, I'm glad I didn't fucking sign any paperwork with them, because I don't want to have to deal with, you know, Chinese factories importing all that crap.
What can a humble doyen do for a sly thief?
I need you to give me awesome special
I have
jobs.
a small problem that you may be able to help with. The guild will even pay a reward. That buffoon, Hieronymus Lex, has invaded the Imperial City waterfront. Imperial watch guards from all over the city prowl the streets.
How bad is it?
Hieronymus Lex has vowed not to leave until the Gray Fox is in custody. The fox is safe, but the Thieves Guild cannot do business like this. The poor of the waterfront are kindred to the Gray Fox and will not betray him. However, cubs soon get hungry. Soon someone will break. Many guild members could be jailed. Find Methredil in the Imperial City. She is coordinating the guild's response.
That's how you say her name, Methredil. I was calling her like Meth Head Rel.
Shadow hide the hunter.
I'm still gonna call her Meth Head Rel. All right. Remake your micro hard shirt. It wasn't micro, it was macro hard, I think. What was the bit there? Oh yeah, I got a cease and desist for that one. It was a Microsoft Windows shirt, and then it had the same Microsoft logo, like the Windows logo, but it said macro hard. And the bit that was like, we're gonna make an advertisement for it, where it was like, I think it was like Bizzle was like Bill Gates' son and had inherited the company. He's like, I don't want Dad's gay ass company with his everybody's gonna think my penis is micro and soft. It's not micro and soft, it's macro and hard. And so he like rebrands as macro hard. But yeah, apparently you can't use like another corporation's logo. They don't like that. And it was all just based around like a disgruntled Bill Gates' son being like a big Chad, and he's like, my dad's a fucking nerd. I'm not owning Microsoft as a company. That's fucking lame. And then it ended up, yeah, they were like, don't fucking do that. They were like, don't you ever fucking do that. It's free advertising from Microsoft. Parody law. That's true. That's true. Parody law might be a thing. But there's also like, there's a difference with like a large institution like SNL doing something like that versus one guy with 2 kids in Florida and not a lot of money for lawyers going up against Checks Papers' largest company in America. You know, I think they would just fucking bury me. So I'm like, I don't even want the heat. Okay. I don't even want Bill Gates knowing I called his penis micro and soft. Okay. For all he knows, I think it's huge and awesome, and he has a lot of money, and I respect him quite a bit. If he's watching this right now, I actually think you're awesome. How come my quest isn't going up? Oh, it's not my main quest. That's why. Okay, I need to go to the market district. Old Sam would re-release the shirt.
Houses of Morrowind are
Would he?
Goodbye. Indoril is in ruins.
I mean, Old Sam is the guy that released the shirt to begin with. And Old Sam is the guy that got the people that said, don't fucking do that.
IFC King hate you, but I love you.
Oh, hey, what's up, dude? Thank you, Skeevy. Thank you, Skeevy, for the resub. Just use the Apple logo. Wait, I was supposed to be in there. I forgot. This is one of those quests with like 1 million objectives, so I need to go to each area and then do something in each area. Hold on. I'm actually going to read it. I'm going to properly read it because I'm doing too much chat interaction. You guys are getting too happy about that. You guys are getting taken too good care of. Stop it. All right, Scriva tells me that Hieronymus Lex has pulled guards from all over the city to lock down the waterfront. He has vowed to remain there until someone rats out the Grey Fox. If I want to help, I have to find Methrodel. She is hiding somewhere in the Imperial City. Oh, I had to find her based off the homeless people.
Do you need something?
University is looking for someone to chase the bandits from Camp Ailes. Probably trying to enhance her weird machine.
I'm saving up enough for some medicine.
Hold on, let me see. I'm just gonna bribe you because I got $1 grillion.
Was that hard?
No, it was not. Where's she at?
She is hiding in Denari Amnes's house over in the Talos Plaza district. She's one of the few that escaped when Lex invaded the waterfront. Blessings of the shadow.
Have you heard any
upon
word
ye.
about the other provinces?
You missed the jank? You know what? Honestly, I think the jank is still here. I think this game is still janky. I had like 50 fucking crashes yesterday. I had, there's still like the voice lines where people go like, there's that one famous voice line where the lady's like, hold on, let me do that one again. And you hear the ruffling of papers and then she does it a second time. That's still in the game. So they've done a pretty good job at keeping the jankiness. What I don't like is that the Nords typically look like big potato babies. They look like big retarded babies. And then in this one, their heads aren't shaped like big potatoes anymore, dude. They actually look like normal people. Which I don't think is cool, to just completely rebrand an entire race. But I guess they're supposed to be like the big chads of this game. And to make them, you know, not look like potatoes anymore. Like my guy's a Nord. Does he look like a fucking Nord? Like what a Nord looked like before? I don't think so. Yeah, these are fake Nords. Is it just a reskin? Yeah, it's a remaster. They didn't change a damn thing. That's exactly how it should be. Did I go the wrong place? Aren't I supposed to be right where I am? Oh, I need to go to the Talos Plaza district? Are you serial? Oh, the attributes and level up system is completely redone.
That should be good.
Is it? I've never been like a min-maxer of any game really, but every time I play like any Bethesda game, I get a big lecture to about like, Sam, you're not like fucking, you're not like doing it properly. And I don't really pay attention to stuff. You guys don't understand how much of me is on autopilot.
Welcome to my... It's good to see you.
Hello, Methrodel.
He is captain. These are foul times for us. Armand is under house arrest again.
Let's
Our
go,
business
Sam.
in the waterfront is totally shut down. We need to get
Thanks for the
Hieronymus
resub.
Lex to lift his siege. I have put together a plan.
This fucking dumb bitch probably has the worst plan in the
You
world.
and 4 other operatives will stage high-profile thefts all at the same time.
That's actually a great plan.
That
I was
force
wrong.
Lex
I was
to
mistaken.
reassign the Watchman. Your target is the Arcane University. We've had our eye on Hormir's staff for some time, but have been waiting for the wizards to be distracted. This is the perfect time. Will you help us?
I will.
I knew the Grey Fox could count on you. The staff is in the Archmage's room. He sleeps between 1 and 7 in the morning. Take this note. Leave it in his nightstand. Bring me the staff when you get it.
Oh my God. Imagine being
Shadow hide you.
already leader of the Mages Guild or whatever. I'd be able to just walk up there and steal it in 2 seconds.
A coin for an old beggar? You
Give him a
have
coin.
my ear, citizen.
Give him a coin. That guy's a meanie. He's not giving him a coin. Hey, what's up? Thanks for the cheer. Is that how Ocean's 11 works? Is that the plot of Ocean's 11? Do a bunch of micro crimes to pull their attention off the... Is that how that movie... That's not how that movie works. I'm pretty sure they just sneak a little Chinese man into the vault and then he like does a backflip and unlocks the door. That's the entire plot of the movie. Did you not watch the movie? You didn't watch the movie, dude. 5 cents, 1, 2, 3, 4. You didn't watch the movie. You didn't pay attention. No, that whole movie was just like, we need to find, they needed 11 people to find one Chinese man. And then they put, oh, and then my game crashed. Hold on. A relaunch. I'll be back in there in just 2 seconds. And there was another, hold on. There was a guy in here that was like, those movies sucks. Ziowa. Okay. Ocean's 12, Ocean's 13, mid. Ocean's 11 is a masterpiece. Okay. It's just a fun, good ass movie. It's good across the board. What don't you like? Also, not to be that guy, but some of those scenes where they're talking about the job, there's 11 people inside the scene. There's so much practical lighting in those scenes. Everybody looks good. Do you know how hard it is to light a room and have camera angles that cover 11 different people engaging in a conversation and it all look good? They probably got fucking like Annie Leibovitz in there to try to get an ensemble, good ensemble shot for each person. It's just a good movie. It's an impressive movie. I like it. Hey guys, controversial opinion here. I like something. I like that movie. Movie didn't get any Oscars though. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about that. Some of the like most pretentious, annoying movies I've ever seen have gotten Oscars. Okay, Crash got an Oscar in 2004. That movie fucking reeks. It doesn't reek. It's just like, come on. I think that's like, that is the classic complaining about Oscars movie. But that movie, I mean, the Oscars aren't always right. What movie won like Best Picture this year? It was some movie that I don't think anybody watched. Okay. All right, guys. Oh, look. It's got the Skyrim thing on it, on the banners. You see the Skyrim dragon up there? I don't know why, but it does. The Archmage's lobby. Okay.
How are you?
How are you? Whoa, those have to be worth a lot. Jesus. They look pretty. Archmage Tower Council Chambers. Crystal balls.
Welcome to the Arcane University.
Oh, actually, that's the emblem of the Imperial Legion. My bad. I'm sorry, I didn't know.
If you wish to become a part of the Mages Guild, seek out the head of the local guild halls. They will instruct you further.
Okay.
You too.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wait until that guy, she said the dude that I'm stealing this from sleeps between the hours of 1 and 7 in the morning. It is currently 8 p.m. I'm going to wait 4 hours. That was the wrong amount of hours. I should have waited longer. I'm going to wait 2 hours. Bingo.
You're not supposed to be in here.
I am not supposed to be here. I'm so sorry. Okay. Okay. What is making so much fucking noise? Oh, it's this thing I'm on. All right, I'm going to save here. Am I supposed to be gone? Okay, I'm going. Why was that guy downstairs? That's the question. Is he? Do you think he's still up there? Dude, stop creeping in this guy's room. He's like watching the guy fucking sleep. Maybe I should. I'm going to wait 24 fucking hours till that guy's gone. We'll do this the next night. In the meantime, we're going to listen to the song. Yeah, this is straight from the Skate 3 loading screen. If you fucking listen to the OST on that game, that's a banger. Okay. Okay, I think we are about ready to steal from this guy. And it's been 24 hours, which means I can probably do my paralyzed thing if I need to. Hold on. I'm going to save real quick. Dude! This guy's a fucking worm. What is this guy's fucking deal, dude? What, does he just watch the door to his boss's chambers all day? Fuck you, nerd. What's this? What's this little letter you got here? A recipe. I'm reading this shit. To create a potion of restore fatigue, combine any two normal foods such as meats or seeds, grind carefully with mortar and pestle, place the resulting powder in a small pestle, and mix with ordinary clear water. To create a potion of restore fatigue, combine foods, carefully mortar and pestle them, replace with ordinary clear water? You just grind up food into water? You just make a smoothie. Restore fatigue is basically just eat a meal. Okay. That's awesome. Thanks for that. I'm glad that... I bet you this place is fucking subsidized by the the goddamn imperial government too. We need our smartest mages to figure out how to restore fatigue. Oh, it's simple, just eat some food. Oh shit. Only our most learned man could tell us that. Okay, so haven't we come to the conclusion that if I paralyze this guy,
Guards! Thief! By the gods, there is a psychopath on the loose.
You're goddamn right, dude. Fuck you, pussy. I'm not gonna kill you, I'm just doing this because you've made me mad, okay?
I'll teach you to steal from the Arcane University.
What the hell? I'm scared now. I'm reloading. I'm doing a quick load. How do I get rid of this guy? Does anybody know how to...
By the 9 divines. Assault! Assault!
Dude, you're paralyzed. Your eyes are closed. You don't know what's going on. You're a fucking idiot. I fucking hate this guy, dude. I hate you. I actually hate this guy. Reload real quick. Wait. You think I could... Okay. And we're pimps. We're pimping. Give me that. All I need to do is leave a note in the nightstand. What if I steal a little bit more while I'm in here? Like his books. This guy's he has to have good books, dude. Look at these. Children of the Sky is like $1 million worth of books. Give me this shit. Do you have any skooma in here? You know this guy's got skooma, dude. You don't get this smart and this high up in the university without learning how fucking awesome drugs are. Give me that. Give me that too. Dwemer culture? Give me that. This guy's got a Nern root. Oh my god, look at these. This is like after Gutenberg's printing press, but before mass production was a thing. So some of these are very expensive. Some of these books. Ooh, this thing's very hard, and I have 12 picks. Should I go for it? I'm going for it. Okay. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Fuck. Ooh, 1, 2, 1. It's hard to tell, dude. These are difficult. Oh my god. No! That was the right one, dude. You know it was. Two. You know what I could do is I could do that technique from yesterday where I just spam open it. That could be the... Hold on. Then we reload. I don't think doing this makes it easier. Somebody said it does, but... Oh, maybe it does. Oh my god, maybe it does. Holding W might be the kinks. the king strat. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Fuck. 1, 2, 3, 4. What? 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 Three, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Fuck. 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 1. Wait, I think I know what you're... Wait, hold on. Oh my god. Dude, okay, I got it now. I figured it out.
Sam streaming 2 days in a row. Now this I
Hold
gotta
on.
see.
Oh my lord. No! That was there! Okay. But I think I did figure it out. Okay, hold on. Okay, so let's see if this works here, but I'm pretty sure that that guy's right. So it only, okay, so for each time you knock it up, look, each tumbler's a different speed, right? That one was slow. Do it again. That one's a little bit faster. Do it again. That one's slow again. That one's very fast. It only resets to the different speed once you let it fall all the way down. So if you hold W, you notice how it goes up and then falls back at a speed. If you get a really slow one, like this one, it stays up near the top for a lot longer when you're holding W. And then it's easier to set it. You just have to make sure it's in contact. If you do that with each of them, like this one's barely moving at all. Oh my, this one's barely moving at all. Okay. Jesus Christ. Someone told me yesterday, they're like, they got me halfway there on being able to do this, where they're like, Sam, you need to stop thinking of it like it's a quick time event. It's not a quick time event. And I was like, okay, that did break my mind because I thought all I had to do is time it when it's at the top. But on the fast tumblers, I don't even think, if it's a fast one, I don't even know if you can do it. That one's pretty bad. Okay. Like this one, come on. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is legendary knowledge. We're gonna, on 1, 2, 3, 4. Empty! Are you fucking kidding me? It's fine. I might have to kill the guy that's in this bed next to me. If you're gonna have a very hard chest and you put nothing in it, someone needs to come out with like a sexual assault mod or something right now. Okay. I need to be able to put at least 4 fingers in this guy's asshole. That pisses me off so much. You have no idea. I'm fucking mad. That is fucking insane. This is the biggest fucking... And then this freak's looking at me, dude. Fuck you. That is fucking insane. Okay. It doesn't matter. I did my quest. That's all that matters. But I know how to steal now. Check this out. Let's see if I can do it a second time. I just want to prove the theory. Because at least this one I know there's something in. You know what? I was going to do that quest to go get the skeleton key, and now I don't even know if we need to. I didn't hit that one when it was in contact with the top, which is why it didn't work. I wasn't paying attention. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you time the sound of it like hitting, you can hear it hit the ceiling and just hit your space button when it makes that click noise. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so you need to have a little bit of rhythm. Thankfully, I did my 23andMe and I'm 3% African. Which is why it comes easier to me than most. Okay, yeah, we need to get the fucking lock-picking lawyer on here. See if he can do this. That one, that one's falling too much for that to be a good one. Dude, somebody fucking scroll up and figure out who is that guy that told me to just hold W. Makes it a lot easier. We need to reverse. I'm going to be the first Twitch streamer that just fucking gives donations to the people that are watching that give good tips. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The proof is in the pudding, guys. Insane. Okay, I'm out. Yeah, now there's like 6 people that are like, that was me. I'm the guy that told you that. Now I don't trust nothing. Yeah, Demon of Cream. I'm Spartacus. Fuck, the game crashed. Okay, that's fine. That happens. Okay. Now I don't want to send an error report. I just want to play a game. Hold on. Where's the Tarkov? Buddy? You're going to be upset when you find out when the last time I played Tarkov was. I do still have my what's the stuff? The Vaseline. It's like Vaseline. I think it has like chamomile or something on it. And I take it and I rub it on my little lips. Keeps them nice and lubricated. All right. Do you plan? I don't have a problem with Tarkov. I played it a lot. And so I was like, I don't want to play this shit anymore. Like if something changes, if they come out with something that's awesome, then yeah, I'll play it. I think it's important if you're playing a game like that has a long development cycle. Yeah, give it, I mean, there's plenty of goddamn games out there, guys. Just give something a breather for a year, maybe 2, and then come back to it. I think that's a harder concept for younger guys, but once I'm 33. Once you're 33, you realize how quickly a year goes by. I mean, I can go a whole year without even thinking about Tarkov. And then I'll see some update and I'll be like, oh shit, let's get back on there. That looks like that's a lot of fun. But as of right now, I still remember all the loading screens I had to sit through, which really grind my gears, piss me off. Honestly, that's also why I've stopped playing Reforger. Those WCS servers are fucking awesome on Reforger, and that is a great game. But I was so tired of coming down here and going, okay, I want to play games in 45 minutes. I'm going to join the queue now so I can wait through it. It's tedious. Sam, you don't look 33. You look 38. Fuck you. Fuck you, dude. Wait until you see my taut buttocks, okay? I have the buttocks of a 29-year-old.
The plan should work with the Shadow's blessing.
I'm glad you're here. We have work to do.
What's up? She's got the mouth structure of, like, look when she talks, she's got a lot of, like, cheek in her mouth. And she's got the mouth structure of Jeff. I think his name's Jeff Garland. He's like Larry David's like little manager guy in Curb Your Enthusiasm. She's got like the same mouth that Jeff Garlin has from Curb Your Enthusiasm.
You have the ice staff? Excellent. Yours is the last item on the list. Now we just wait for the powers that be to pull the plug on Hieronymus Lex's siege. Good question. I want you to spy on Hieronymus Lex. Make sure you stay close enough to overhear any conversations. Sooner or later, they will order him to return the guards to their original posts. When that happens, come and tell me.
Yeah.
More
Shadow
pressure on
hide
Lex.
you.
He's a stubborn fetcher.
Shut up. Have I lost weight? No, not at all. I mean, I've been working out every morning. But I've also been eating like a fucking fat cow. So maybe less fat on me, but I'm not in a caloric deficit or anything. I've just been eating like a fucking madman. I saw a video with maybe it was like a Tom Platz video or something where he's like, if you're one of those people that say you don't have time to fucking work out, even the president of the United States has time to work out. Well, this was back when Obama was in office. I don't think Trump does any working out, but he's like, if the fucking president has time to do it, then you should have time to do it. And I said, okay. She wants me to watch Lex until... Where's he at? Is he at the waterfront? I guess he's down here. Standing up after waking up is not working out.
What do you know about it?
Yeah. Whoa. I used to think these guys were so cool, man. The blue hood. All right, I'm gonna go check out the waterfront.
The gray fox is hiding nearby. What do you know about
Why is there so much
There
blood on the
once was
floor?
a hardy young lad of the sea, a red god of courage and honor was he.
Okay. All right, I'm dropping Eves.
I'm looking for the gray fox. What can you tell me?
Okay, I'm dropping Eves.
I have an arrest warrant for the gray fox. Do you know where he is?
Should I buy a new computer or keep waiting under the delusion that prices will get better? 8 years ago, I watched a woman get dragged into the trunk of an SUV in the dead of night, and I did nothing to stop it. I think you're, well, at least you acknowledge that you're delusional, because yeah, prices do not go down. That's just not something that happens. Prices don't go down unless there's something crazy going on, but what? Am I stuck? What's going on? Why am I stuck?
Begone, mortal. So, the mages send a foul Daedra to deliver a simple note when an honest footman would have done. How typical.
What the fuck was
All right,
that?
men.
A
We've been
demon?
ordered back to our posts. I smell the dirty hand of the gray fox behind this.
Day drinking, yay or nay? No, this is a DDP, dude. It's just a little DP.
What is it, citizen?
Mind if I read this note from Romanus Paulus? Your vendetta against the Grey Fox has cost the Arcane University dearly. You commandeered the guards patrolling our property. In their absence, someone stole a valuable artifact from the university. We demand that you return all guards to their posts immediately. If you do not do this, we will be forced to bring the matter to the attention of your superior. Dude. What a mean little letter.
I'm rather busy.
You just got fucking bodied, dude. And they sent a demon messenger to give you the note.
Stop right there, criminal scum. Nobody breaks the law on my watch. I'm confiscating your stolen goods.
What did I do?
Fine, or it's off to jail.
What did I do?
Then pay with your blood. I fought mud crabs more fearsome than you.
I didn't do this, dude. Classic. End every quest with me swimming away from a bunch of guards. That's how every quest ends. And then I had to go run away for a little bit. I forgot I need to clear my bounties. I need to clear my bounties. Yeah, pay with your butt. That'd be awesome if they said that. And then they raw dogged me right there in the waterfront in front of everybody. Oh, you're not going to pay your fines? Okay, you're going to pay with your ass. Somebody make that a machinima. Are those machinima guys still alive? Or they died of old age? Did someone make a machinima of Hieronymus Lex bending my character over? That wasn't even a wolf. That was just a dog. I just killed a regular dog. Yeah, yeah, someone pull out their rotary phone and dial up those machinima guys. See if they would do that. Hold on, I gotta go hide. Look at that run. Holy shit. The uphill run is awesome. Okay. Venison. You got dinner tonight. Just ask Lisa. You know what, dude? No, I'm not just gonna ask Lisa. Hey, only like woman friend I have. Do you want to make a video of this person raw dogging my character in the asshole? Yeah, no, I'm good.
I spread them apart in an aroma wafted. Any advice?
Thanks for asking.
Thanks, Sam.
Excellent. What's the news from the other parts of Tamriel?
Nothing on.
What?
What?
Make sure not to eat nightshade. It's very poisonous.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down. Thanks, dude.
I'm through talking to you.
What are these guys doing? Is this like a... Oh, it's an altar. Okay. That's pimp.
How do you do?
I still have an enemy on me. He's down here for some reason. Hold on, let me see what he's doing. Is it like a crab or something? Oh, it's a dog. Okay. I'm going to bring the dog over here and see what these guys do about it. Hey guys, there's like a rabid dog over here and he's attacking me. Can you help me out? Look, he bit me. You guys are dicks. I figured they would have helped. Oh my god. Dude, I saw all that shit on Twitter about Oblivion. I had forgotten Oblivion was a thing that was planned.
What's new with you?
If you guys haven't heard of what Oblivion is, it was I think it was like one guy or maybe a small team that were trying to remake the entire game of Oblivion with Skyrim's engine, with Skyrim's graphics. And they've been working on it for years. It's been this guy's like life project. And then it was supposed to come out this year. And then this game just came out yesterday. If I was that guy, I would probably have I would be sucking on a pistol right now. That would be so demoralizing. Oh, they gifted him a copy? That's fucking insane. That is absolute insane. The team got the remake for free. Oh, there's a consolation prize. What, you spent like 6 years on this? No biggie. We'll give you a fucking $40 game for free. Yeah, if I was them, I'd be fucking mad. Really mad. Because this is obviously better than anything they could have done too. Which would make me even more mad. Okay, now I'm gonna... I gotta go get all my bounties and everything fixed, dude. These guys are so fucking mad at me for some reason. While spying on Hieronymus Lex, wonder if I get... Lex dropped that note. I wonder if I can find it. Yeah, I thought I picked it up. I guess not. Okay. I'm scared to go back to the waterfront while these guys are so freaking mad at me. Maybe that Scriva lady can help me. Is she in Leowin or is she in Breville? It's hard to remember which one she's in. She seems like more of a Leowin type. No. Is she in Breville or Leowin? I'm going to say Breville. I know I read it, I didn't take it, but I don't want to go back there while they're all so stinking mad at me. Oh, look, I guessed right. Look at that.
What can a humble doyen do for a sly thief?
Okay, I'm going to pay off my
The hunter can pay his fines to the guards, serve his time, or pay this one half, and they will...
I'm going to pay the 20 gold.
It will be done. I will shred all of the hunter's criminal warrants.
And...
Shadow hide the hunter.
I think that's just going to be the go-to now. I think last night I did an awesome thieving mission where... This is kind of crazy, guys. This is a new tactic, okay? So if you see anybody else using this, you're going to have to call it samming, maybe. Something I've come up with. Where instead of a cat burglar where I walk around and sneak and grab things, I just ran in there and just took things while people went, stop! Stop right there! Don't do that! And then I just kept doing it. I just kept taking, and then I just ran away. And at the end of the day, I only really had like a $25 bounty, which I then paid half of right here. That's nothing, dude. Do that all day. Got away with impunity. I don't know if I use that word right, but it sounds so cool to say that, with impunity. Violent, high-energy theft is the ideal way to go for most of the Thieves Guild missions. Oh, you've already played through the Thieves Guild? Already? The game just came out yesterday. How the fuck do you do that, dude? This guy's a speedy gamer. This guy's one of those speedrunners.
I see you're a follower of the Gray Fox, too.
Yeah, we're colleagues, dummy.
I'm glad you're here. We have work to do. He's been ordered to evacuate the waterfront. Excellent. I have one last task for you. As a sign of good faith, the Thieves Guild needs to return Fromir's ice staff to the Arcane University. However, the wizards are not to be trusted. I'm sure they are watching for us to put it back where you got it. They would have no qualms about killing you once they had the ice staff back. Instead, I want you to put Fromir's ice staff into Ontis Vannin's safe chest. He keeps one in his home. Ontis is a former university researcher.
I gotta frame this guy?
Greedy bastard, aren't you? I like that in a thief. You'll have to see Scriva about that. I'm just running the scam.
Okay.
Shadow hide you.
Alrighty, pimps. I'll do this. Although I think once I get there, I'm gonna do a little be right back where I can go. We're gonna do a little intermission, guys. You guys can do the same. You can go pee. I'm gonna grab a little sandwich. This morning I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go off down and stream a little bit down at the factory, down in the mines. And Abby was like, you know what? I'm going to make you a little sandwich before you go. And so I have a little sandwich all tucked away in my mini fridge. So I'm gonna go grab that and go pee pee. After I get to where I'm supposed to be going. Where am I supposed to be going? I'm supposed to be going to some guy's like actual home. Is this where he lives? Ontis Vannon's house. Oh yeah, I'll just wait until nighttime. I wonder what time he sleeps. Yeah, I bet you he's at work right now. Right now would be the ideal time to do it. So what I'm gonna do is I am gonna be right back. Yeah. Oh, I'm back. Oh, hell yeah. The sandwich. It's like, this is some real white people shit. It's chicken salad with, red onions on a pita. It's pretty good. We got little cherry tomatoes on it too. Fresh ground pepper. Pilgrim food. What the fuck? It's not a little sandwich. It's a big ass sandwich, dude. There's a lot of fucking. There's a lot of chicken salad. Young lean into Led Zeppelin is crazy. Hey, dude. I don't have like a playlist. I just, if I like a song, I just like it, and then I shuffle through all my like songs. I don't like separate stuff on genre. Because typically when I listen to music, I'm more of a person that listens to an entire album. I like listening to it because usually thematically the music is cohesive if it's a good album and should be experienced in album form. But it actually took me quite a long time to get into just playing music, just hitting shuffle and go. And now that I've gotten into it, I kind of enjoy it. But I still, by default, listen to stuff just by album. By the way, you guys heard that new Kanye? New Kanye's out, possibly one of his hardest bars he's come up with yet. I forget how it goes. He goes like, I gave my cousin head, I gave my cousin head, I gave my cousin head, which is fucking awesome. That's just what a bar. Man. You know, I wasn't a big fan of Kanye until recently. Recently, I think he fucking rocks. Once he starts coming out with "I Gave My Cousin Head" rap songs, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, that song's fucking awesome. He's also, his last album has some song with Freddie Gibbs in it. It talks about big tittied women falling out of the sky, which is pretty cool. That song also rocks. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be breaking into this house. And now that I definitely know how to just do this, because we figured it out together, guys. Shouldn't be no problemo. One, two, three, four. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy, like clockwork. I just heard someone upstairs, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to autosave right here. Where do I need to put it again? Dude, this guy's just leaving fresh cuts of beef uncooked on the ground. Absolute insanity. Look at all these, dude. These are good cuts of meat, too. He's just leaving them out. I mean, pumpkin's heavy, dude. These pumpkins are big time heavy. Silver pitcher. This guy's got nothing worth anything. It does not pay to be an educator in this world. Honestly, the nicest thing out of this place that I would probably take and sell is these benches. Look at the woodwork here. That's hard to put in your pocket and walk out of here with, though. This one's more like a church pew, so I don't think this one would sell. But if I could get like a couple gypsy friends or something to carry out this dining set, that thing would fucking sell. That would sell for thousands. It's solid, too. Two, three, four. 1, 2. Wait, no. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whew. Okay. Is this the chest? What's in this one? Gold. And a silver carafe. A ladle. Can't I steal that staff back now? I mean, what if I take it back? What if I'm going to save it right now, dude. I stole it back, but I mean, technically I did the mission. Missions told me I was done. Why am I not sleeping to level up? Am I going to sleep in this guy's house? That's insane. Okay, now what? I plan that I should go to see Scriva and collect my reward. I think it's just gotta let me do it. Yeah. Why isn't Poob in my vids? Cause, well, the secret here, this is what you guys don't know. You gotta read between the lines. We actually hate each other. It's a little known fact. We actually hate each other a lot. And so usually the beginning of every podcast begins with us screaming at each other, belittling each other, and then we go, and we're live. No, you know, you would be amazed with how much of his time, I think he just kind of sits there and like stares at the wall all day. I don't really know what he does. That and hangs out with his girlfriend a lot. And also, I think being a dad over here. I think that takes up a lot of my time. And so we're not exactly active at the same time during the day. It's 3:25. I've been up probably now for like 6 hours or so. And I called Poob around 12 o'clock and I could tell he was like in bed. He was like, oh. So there's just not a lot of overlapping time. Usually when we have the podcast at like 2 p.m., he's like, I woke up and I ran and got some coffee and then like I'm like waking up in the podcast.
So I've heard.
And by that point, I've already been up for a long amount of time. So I guess we could like game at night and stuff, but I usually don't know what he's up to at night.
Not like that. Gilgondrin, Silver Home.
All right. Wait, why am I talking to this guy?
Goodbye. Hello.
What's this guy for?
My neighbor, Droshanji.
No, I don't want that.
I overheard someone say that Alaran Lock. Yeah, Ursani's husband.
That's not what I want.
Good day.
What's going on here? Oh, I have the wrong thing. Okay, hold on. Misdirection. I'm playing the ice staff. Now I need to get to Skriva. What? Why would it on it just undid it? Look. It put me back and caught on the hunt. What is going on? Misdirection. I want this one. It won't even let me make it my active quest.
How are you?
I'm going to have to go find what's her face. Yeah.
Excuse me, my lord.
Fuck. Skriva, you bitch. I have to wait 12 hours. Is this Delicate Steve? Yes, it is. Do you play music specifically so no one can upload the VODs? No, I actually play it for you guys. I think it's not in the VOD. I figured you guys would like it. Where's Bizzle been? You're not gonna believe this. He's in Japan. He's been in Japan for a long time. Yeah, he's been sending me messages of like, hold on. I don't know if that's like doxing, like where he is, but he's been in Japan. And he's been sending me a lot of funny pictures of while he's been there. Hold on, let me go through these. He found, he's just been finding weird products in Japan. They have Greek yogurt cigarettes. So in the filter, there's a Greek yogurt capsule and you crush it and then smoke the cigarette and it tastes like Greek yogurt, instead of a menthol cigarette, it's like a Greek yogurt cigarette. Which Greek yogurt just tastes like fucking sour cream if it's unflavored. So it's like a sour cream cigarette. It's like the worst fucking idea in the world. Let's see, what else has he got here? Lots of caution, beware upskirt photo signs for it in like the public transport, telling people to watch out. There's a couple other products he's taken. Oh, I can't say that one. There's a bakery with just a very common slur for gay people. The name of the bakery, it's just like bakery and patisserie, and then under that it just says that word that starts with an F and then has an A and then some G's in there and then it ends with a T. And there's also an O. You found this one. This one's good. Cock grease, extra hard. But he's been cruising around Japan. There's also a jacket that just has a big print on it that says "How smoking paprika turned me gay." I love the idea that there's like Japanese dudes walking around with clothing that say horrific English things on them without knowing what they mean.
What can a humble doyen do for a sly thief?
Kind of like all the people that have like what they think is cool Chinese tattoos or whatever, and then it turns out that it just means toilet brush.
The Arcane University is getting restless. If it is not returned, Shadow hide the hunter.
Okay, good thing I saved right before I left. I think I saved like inside. Autosave? Was it an autosave or? I think I just like did a save. Yeah. Did that nutria meat ever come in the mail? Fuck no, dude. They didn't send me that shit. These guys are pussies. Okay. I thought I could steal the staff and then fence it and get a lot of money. Game won't let me be cool. Whatever. That's how it is, I guess. I had an ex who thought she had love in Chinese tattooed on her. Turns out she had shit tattooed on her. That's fucking awesome. That is, that's awesome to just, like a dude would think, I feel like a dude would think that's funny. Be like, oh, fuck. It says shit and that's it. But I feel like a girl would be like, no, no. Yeah, a guy would say, fuck, you got me. The agony of women amuses me. You're a sicko, dude. That poor woman has shit on her for the rest of her life.
Ah, the prowler. What can a humble doyen do for a sly thief?
That's the character for shit? This guy just posted the Chinese character for shit. Imagine you have to shit really bad and you have to hand draw out that symbol to tell someone you're going to take a dump. That's a lot of little scratches all put together. I think it would be faster to just draw the image of a poop. Like a little spiral. Or not spiral, a pyramid of poop. Damn. Damn.
Hieronymus Lex has left the waterfront? Well done. Methradel's report tells me that you have done well. You have earned your reward. I am promoting you to Cat Burglar, which means you can use Luciana Galena Abreville as your fence. Congratulations on your new rank.
Yay! Oh, and they gave me $300.
Shadow
I'm rolling in it.
Hunter.
Let's fucking go. Up in Breville, you say? Up in Breville, you say? Wait, I'm already in Breville, aren't I? Wait.
You are a welcome sight in the hunter can pay his fine.
Okay, I don't have any.
Ura Vaso Thralis has a way with words. Shadow hide the hunter.
She works at the inn. Galena works at the inn. Why wouldn't they move me to a different goddamn town? Why would they keep me in the same town? That's crazy talk.
Have pity, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're homeless?
To eat.
You got nothing to eat, dude?
Please be generous, kind sir.
I'll give you some money, dude. Here you go.
Thank you, kind sir.
Here you go.
Blessings of the shadow upon ye.
Thank you. Homeless people love me because I don't beat them with sticks and I give them a coin every once in a while. Mostly I give them a mean look. I tell them, don't fucking touch me. Don't even look at me. Oh, she must be up there. I guess I'll wait. 1 hour. Why can't I go in? It's like middle of the fucking day. Is she only open at night or something? Yo, what the flip? Maybe she's open in the middle of the night. What am I munching on? Nothing, dude. Wait, hold on. Let me eat this. Nothing, dude. I got the Clean Plate Club. Yeah. What? She's not even here now. I was eating a chicken salad sandwich that my wife lovingly made for me.
Fresh game.
Well met.
Apparently some... Is this pleasure or business?
It looks like you have some beard stubble, so I'm going to say business. I'm here to talk about bartering. Is this the lady I'm supposed to see?
What is it now?
Yeah, you're the lady I'm supposed to talk to.
Is this pleasure or business? Other Beville trainers?
Oh,
What
Thieves
do you
Guild.
want
Here we
to
go.
know? The doyen are the hands and eyes of the guildmaster. You take your orders from them. You get your favors from them. The current doyen are Armand, Christophe, and Scriva.
You wish you had a wife or a chicken or a sandwich? Honestly, dude, think of it like playing Rust. Life is like playing Rust. It's hard to do if you're a solo. Okay, you can do it and you'll feel triumphant and badass, but it's a lot easier if you have help. And so teaming up with someone makes it considerably easier. But the end goal, if you really want really easy living, you got to get into a Latino family because they'll pack like 8 people in one house. And then what? Rent has to be like $80 if everybody's chipping in. So you could get married or you could be Latino. Those are the options to make life a little bit easier. Should I train or should I barter?
So, what's hot today?
Can I sell her stuff? Man, that's true. I'm speaking the true, man.
I do think I've been taken advantage of.
I haven't even started, lady. Don't even get on me. I'm going to jack this up 50% of value.
I don't think so.
Fuck
You
you.
wouldn't try to cheat an old pro, would you?
Yep. Yes, I would. Dude, look at these Grand Soul Gems. Stolen 230 buckaroos. Look at my money stack up there, dude. Hold on. I could do it like this. Look at that money. Look at that money stack right there, big dog. $1,700. That's huge. I'm going to sell another one of those. Oh, wait, this one doesn't sell for as much. Yeah. How much are the houses in this game? Like ballpark me. And I'm not talking some rough dog shit house. I'm talking the Skingrad Manor, okay? Because when I'm moving into a city, I want it to be nice. I want to be in Skingrad. It's the nicest town, I think.
You've made a good bit of gold.
I don't want the cheap haunted one. I want the... Is it 25K? $25K?
Let's
Not
just
bad.
keep this affair between the two of us.
Nah. Okay, pay off my fines and bounty. Thieves Guild, Breville.
Other Breville trainers? What do you want? Look no further. I'll buy your hot goods.
Dude, her eyes when she said that.
What do
Look
you
at
want
this.
to know?
Look at this.
Look no further. I'll buy your hot goods.
Her eyes are so bugged out. I'll buy them. I'll buy them all from you.
Shadow hide.
Am I crazy or am I supposed to talk to this lady?
It's you. Hi.
Independent thievery. I've reached my goal. I should go see Skriva. She might have... Why Skriva? Why do I need to go see her again? I thought she sent me to go see this lady. There's no winning.
We meet again.
How are you?
Oh,
You
Skriva.
are a welcome sight in these troubling times.
Dude, honestly, I'm pretty sure because the thing now it has the green arrow over her. I'm pretty sure she was exactly where that lady was, but one floor above her, which is why I thought I had to talk to that lady. Unless I'm crazy.
What do you want to...
I don't want to find a fence, dude.
The best fences are...
Darji defense? Luciana Galena defense? Or Ongar defense?
Luciana lives in... I
Here we
have
go.
need of a very special book. The Lost Histories of Tamriel. The cat burglar Theranos was sent hunting in Skingrad for this book. However, Theranos has not been seen since. The Grey Fox himself hunts for this book. I need you to find Theranos. Help Theranos bring back this book. If Theranos is unwilling or unable, bring back the book yourself. Are you agreeable?
I'm agreeable. Oh, the sun looks nice over there. Look at it. Coming through the window. Cool. All right, yeah, I'll do that. She wants me to steal a book. I'll do that.
That is good. Go to Skingrad. The trail starts there.
Maybe I can put my nose or my cursor inside this lady's nose up there. Look at that. Lettuce, you freak. You're a goddamn sexual deviant. You would fuck everybody in this game. I bet you I could walk up to a 95-year-old beggar, homeless man, and you'd be like, wood? Yeah, wood. I'd fucking tap that. I'd put my penis in that. It's just like a dead woman on the floor. She's been dead 6 years. Just a skeleton. Wood. Is he hung though? No, he got his penis chopped off in an accident. Wood. I'd suck on the stump. Wood. Oh no, I was trying to find a homeless person, but I think I scared them all off. Okay. It still wants me to talk to this lady. What gives?
You are a welcome sight in these...
What do you want?
Doesn't the hunter have prey to follow?
I do, dude. I do.
Shadow, hide the hunter.
How you doing, Lettuce? What you up to, man? I didn't mean to shit on you for no reason. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to shit on you for being virile. That's supposed to be an attribute. That's supposed to be something people seek. So I'm sorry for that. That was me overstepping my bounds. Won't happen again. I've reached my goal. She might have something for me. She gave me something. Okay, now I do this one. I have to watch out because like sometimes I'll click on a quest, I'll set it as my main squeeze, and then it'll put the Forlorn Watchman or Paranoia or one of these other ones as my quest, which kind of pisses me off. It usually happens when I hit inspect. Oh, okay, I see what it is. So if I have Lost Histories selected and then I go to inspect, it'll work. But if I move my mouse down here and then go to inspect, it actually just goes to whatever I'm hovered over. Okay, that makes more sense. That's probably how I fucked it up. You're stoked to play the remaster? Dude, one of my biggest concerns with this game was that, you know, the characters wouldn't look so stupid. Because I like how stupid they look. But they did a pretty good job of letting you make ridiculous looking people. Which I'm happy for. And they kept all the bad voice work in here. It's all around, it's a pretty good game. Pretty good. Is he inside?
It's you. Hi.
Here we go. What about this one, Lettuce? Would you? Just based off the feet? Would you? Huh? Would? I would. His name is Foul Fagus.
So hungry.
Would you? Oh yeah, me Foul Fagus. I would love to rail this guy. This guy rocks. Lettuce is like, oh, Foul Fagus? Yeah, that guy. I'd destroy him.
He is a skillful thief. I seem to remember something about him. Something recent, something important. Something is missing in my hand.
Okay, Lettuce.
Why, yes,
you
it
need to
would.
get a shirt like this.
Thalanis was drinking in the Two Sisters Lodge.
This shirt
bragging about stealing something
would go so fucking hard.
Fortunately, Captain Dion was
And I feel
also in
like if I get it, I'd just look like a fucking loser in a shirt like this. But
and hold him off to the dungeons.
with the, what is this called? Like a coif or whatever that fucking like fringe is. You need to get like a medieval shirt like this and just go to a Renaissance fair. Just this. Big. They always have a belt that's 4 feet too fucking long. Cinch that thing up halfway up your big shirt, your big tunic. I've always wanted to find a place that makes like good, I don't even want to say like Renaissance clothing. There's a lot of people that do like Ren Fair stuff, like recreations, reproductions, but it's never like the right time period I'm looking for. I want like Prince Charming, like annoying doublets with like the stupid poof. So actually, hold on.
Into the
Shut up, dude. I don't need to talk to you no more. I want something like this. If I could get something like this that my guy has on. Hold on. I think I also have a green doublet. Oh, it's gone. I fenced it because it was stolen. It was hot. But if I could get something so douchey like this, that would be incredible. Yeah, that's drippy as fuck, dude. Hey, you think a woman's gonna say no to you and something like that? Obviously from a very well-to-do family. Your bloodline is pure. You can tell by the Habsburg jaw that you have impeccable lineage. You got just the right bloodline. Yeah. Yes. Imagine being a homeless guy and waking up and this dude's looking over you. That would be awesome. Am I still supposed to talk to this guy? I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy trying to justify buying several $100s worth of Renaissance clothing. You're telling me to go all the way up to Castle Skingrad. That is actually a good point. If homeless people are so hungry, why don't they just eat each other? I think that would solve a lot of problems. No, that's not. That's not okay to say. I shouldn't have said that one. I wonder if there's ever been a problem with homeless people eating each other. All right, Lost Histories. I discovered that Theranos was arrested. It seems he was found in a tavern, drunk and bragging about stealing something from Castle Skingrad. The captain of the Skingrad guard overheard him and arrested him. So now I'm going to break into the dungeon. I want to... Okay. Into the dungeon. How do I get down into the dungeon? Oh. Okay. Is this like something where I had to sneak in, or do you think I can just talk to the guy and go like, hey, can I come in there and talk to the prisoner?
Visitors ain't allowed down here.
But what if I'm an incredibly wealthy man that just sold a lot of stolen soul gems?
Nah, but it will earn you 2 years in Skingrad's dungeon. Now get lost before I decide to report you.
You fucking bitch.
Stop talking.
Are you kidding me, dude? Three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, here's a... Are you here?
Hey, what's up, dude? Yeah, I'll rescue you.
Just unlock the door. You
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dude, it's foolproof. It works every time. All right, sneak out. How do I get out of here? Oh, shit. Oh, shit. That's not the right way. This is the barracks. Stop right there, criminal scum. Shut up. That's how I bang me wifey. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm done. Hey, dude. This guy has it all figured out. Did I do that right? I feel like I did that really quick. I tried to bribe my way into the jail, but the jailer is too honest. Either that or he's terrified of Count Hasseldor. It's too bad that I can't get a job in the castle. What does a guy have to do in this town to see inside the jail? Get arrested? Oh, I'm supposed to get arrested? Oh, good thing I just broke the law really bad. I didn't rescue the right person? Oh, fuck. All right, hold on.
That the best you can do?
No, no, look. Look.
This is the part where you fall down and bleed to death.
No, I'm trying to talk to you. I'm trying to talk to you.
Die, damn you.
Okay. I'll just reload and see if you'll talk to me again.
Visitors ain't allowed down here. Leave me alone. By the gods, that is... Stop! You violated the law. Pay the court a fine or serve your sentence. Your stolen goods are now forfeit.
Okay. I'll go to jail, I guess.
Criminal scum.
Hey, what's
How are
up,
you?
dude? All my possessions have been confiscated. That's not good. Oh, I hear my kids running around upstairs. Go to sleep to serve
Are
your
you
sentence?
here to rescue me?
I am.
Just unlock the door. A couple of hours after you're gone. You mean the thief? He was in the big cell with that Argonian. They were always whispering to each other. The Pale Lady took him days ago.
The Pale Lady? That's scary.
Every few days she comes for one of us. Some return, some don't. Those that are taken 3 times never return. This was Theranos' 3rd time. I don't know. She took the Argonian less than an hour ago, though. He put up quite a struggle. He was bleeding all over the place.
Okay.
Don't let the guards catch you.
I'll take care of this. I have one pick. But on my side, I have capability and talent. I know how these locks work. One. Wait, no, wait. Hold on. We need a good one. 1, 2, 3, 4. But I can always reload. I can always save scum. Okay. We do this again. 1, 2. Wait. 1, 2. We gotta get a good one. Nice slow one. 2. No, that one's not slow enough. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All that just for some fucking information? All right. Where are you getting up? Look at that. Oh my God, he was bleeding all over the place. Look at the floor. Yo, dude, you might want to come this way. Hey, dude. Okay. You fight the guards. I will go through the secret entrance. Bye. Good luck. Dummy. Oh my God, there's a skull here. More lockpicks, though. Oh my God, a clavicle. And a skull. Honestly, though, I mean, look at the lighting right here with that torch. The light bouncing. Looks good. When will he realize he won't get his belongings back? Is that the true? Am I not going to get my belongings? Uh-oh. Do I have to go back and get them? One, 2, 3, 4. 1. Wait. 1. Wait. 1. Wait. 1, 2, 3. No, that one's not good. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I saw that.
Ah!
Stop right there.
No!
Nope. Then pay with your blood.
I have a $1,500 bounty? Are you kidding me? What? 1,500 bucks? What are you doing sneaking around? 1,500? 1,500? Is it it's because everything I took was considered stolen. I think I get it back at the end, dude. I think you just fucked me over by making me go back and steal my own stuff. It's because they caught me. I'm scared. Are you saying you're poor? You can't pay a simple 1,500? I mean, I thought I just got my money up by getting my 1,900, paying half of that for the fences to cover my. I'm not paying that. It's too much money. I don't know how much money that is because I ain't good at math and my mind don't work good, but that's too much. Okay, it's more than I want to pay. I want to pay $0 to have my own stuff. This is POV. Wait, I'm trying to think of an instance where I would be on the other side of a butthole. I can't think of one. POV, you're a poop in this guy's asshole, and you spent one night in jail with me. That's all I got. I'm gonna send this guy after that dude. Let's see if he punches him. He just snuck by him. He didn't even attempt. Larthjar. Dude.
You'll never take me down.
Dude. All right, we're loading. We're reloading back. There we go. I think this is before I stole everything. No! Did it just reload all the way back there? There's no way it did. Okay. Trespassing. All I have is my pants. Oh my god, there's more skeletons. This way? Okay. Oh, you hear him? Oh shit. This is back the other way. They're fighting Larthjar. Larthjar just got knocked unconscious. Okay, I was going the right way. I'm getting lost down here. This place is crazy. Who are you? Who is this guy?
Stay where you are.
He's got a castle key though. How cool is that? Bitch.
You should have paid the fine.
I don't really know where I'm supposed to be going. These look like these might be door. Oh, there's blood on that one. Ow. Bingo. Oh shit. Oh, Theranos is gone. Theranos is dead. I found his body in the secret chamber with Amasai and the Pale Lady. Oh, is Amasai gone too? Maybe I'll get some fucking, I'll get all this shit, put this on. Oh, hey, Amasai, how you doing?
We need to get to safety. That would be me. I'm so glad you're here to save me from the vampire. Those cretin Skingrad guards caught me stealing a fish and locked me up. You have saved my life again.
Can you
You
steal
are a
fish?
true friend.
Is that something
Will
that
not
can be
forget
stolen?
this. I've decided to join the Thieves Guild. No more jails for me. Theranos, how did you know about him? No, but he did give me a message about a treasure to deliver to the Thieves Guild if I was ever to get out. After the first time Theranos was taken, get me out of the castle, and I'll give you his message.
You got it, pimp.
Filthy vampire. She took my cellmate Theranos a few days ago. If it hadn't been for you, I would have been next.
This guy, I have saved his ass so many times. He better do more than join the guild. He better buy me candy bars. He better buy me all sorts of goodies. He better be cool as fuck to me.
Now, what do we have here? Caught in the act and no gold to pay your fine. I'm confiscating your stolen goods. Now it's off to jail with you.
Who's that fucking crazy bitch behind him? Look at that lady. Is that a guy or a girl back there? It looks like an evil skull or something. Huh. What's going on there? Yeah, that's scary. I'm going to go ahead and resist arrest.
Then pay with your blood.
Okay. Oh!
I will feed the mistress
She's
your
beating up
blood.
the guard! Well, she was beating up the guard. She punched him once. I saw her do it.
An escaped prisoner. I'll separate your head from your shoulders. I'll have your head, you filthy Nord! You should have paid the fine. Let's get this over with.
Okay. He's hitting me more consistently now. I'm gonna put on some clothing. Ooh, ready for battle. Maybe get this actual dagger. Nah, I'll keep up with the fists. I think I do have like a skill, like a magic skill, and it makes me heal myself or something. And I can also summon a skeleton. Look at that. I'm gonna do that one first. Look at that little skeleton, huh? You didn't think I could do that, did you? Uh-oh, so he's gonna kill me! Fuck.
Psychopath on the loose.
Oh. I died too quick. I kind of sat there and tanked a bunch of hits for a while. Yeah, my health was at 0%. I think this time, honestly, I can handle this with a little bit more grace. That time was kind of like I was running around with my hair on fire. I was going a little bit crazy there. But this time, I think I know what's up. And I'm going to do this slowly and methodically. Christ. Let's not make this any more difficult than it has to be.
Why won't you stop?
God damn it!
The law.
I know.
Then pay way.
I'll resist arrest. I'm just a fucking crazy little boy like that. I resist things. How do I close this so that they don't follow me in here? It's too late. They're both in here. Okay, guys, I'm back here with my friends like usual.
Where are you?
I will feed the mistress your blood.
You stupid bitch.
Let's get this over with.
Okay, this is where... Hold on. Is that the skeleton? Right there. Is that the skeleton? That's not the skeleton. Okay, he hit me that time. Fuck. Where's my summoned skeleton? Look at that. Skeleton's badass. Dude, stop!
The best you can do.
Stop! He's got more reach. He's cheating. He's got like an actual sword. I've killed someone while trying to... I've been warned that I'll have to pay the blood price if I must... Oh, fuck. I feel like once you kind of like get into a quest where there's a big blood-hungry vampire and they make you break into jail, and I'm saving someone from a vampire in like a torture chamber under a castle, I think you should be able to kill like one. Like 5 people. Maybe less. Okay. I keep reloading at a fuck-up point. Okay, I'm gonna reload further behind. Where do I keep reloading at? Like here? Like here? Like here? I don't think that's a fuck-up point. I don't. But how about this? I'm gonna reload at here. Wait. Here? Here? Here. This is only like 2 minutes ago. Okay. Oh yeah, he's already mad on the other side of this door. I really goofed up somehow. It's kind of unfortunate too. Maybe I can wait for a... Oh, I can't wait with enemies nearby. I was gonna say, maybe I can wait for a really long time and they'll forget I exist. I'm gonna do that over here. Can't wait when enemies are nearby. Come on. There's more enemies nearby? Where? Whence? There we go. I'm gonna wait 12 hours. Because they've forgotten I exist at this point, right? If I just went into a hole in the wall and I just wait there for a while. Fuck it, dude. I'm gonna wait for another 12. I'm gonna wait for, you know, enough till it's in the middle of the night. Hopefully the rest of these people are asleep. I don't have to worry about a fucking thing. There we go. Middle of the night. Bingo. Now I'm saving. Now we're in a safe area. Now we're following the blood trail. Now it's like nothing ever happened. None of that bad stuff from before. Look at this. Easy peasy. You fucking worm! Where do you get off doing all this shit, dude?
Let's get this over with.
Shum grow yarug. No! Emissary died!
What's the matter? Getting tired?
Take that!
Why are they fighting? Like, what's your deal? Did he just kill the vampire lady? Emissary, you're not going to help me here? You're not even part of the guild yet. You could cut this guy's fucking head clean off. Nobody would say a word. Okay. Quick reload. 2 seconds, guys. 2 quick little seconds here. Feint him? Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to feint him, and then I'm going to close the door behind me, and he'll have no idea what the hell's going on. I think he's in this room to the left. Dude! I fucked up on that. Be right back, folks. Maybe I should have a closer save point. It's not like all the way back here. Here, I'll save right here. It's probably painful watching. I am so sorry. Oh, that time it's like nothing happened.
I will feed the mistress your blood.
Not my first time, guys. I knew exactly where to hit him. And she's got dashing clothing, secret cell key, russet felt shoes, and vampire dust. Very nice. Ew.
We need to get to safety.
Nice. Glarthier, pale lady.
Filthy vampire. She took my cellmate Theranos a few days ago. If it hadn't been for you...
Oh yeah, didn't I already ask him about all that stuff? Cool.
Theranos? No. After the... Get me...
I've already done all this
If
stuff.
that's Theranos' treasure, I know where it... As soon as we're out of sight of the castle's main gate, I'll tell you. Let's go.
It's time we escape, pimp. Let's do this. Theranos, I'm sorry. Thank you for the leather armor. Do I have to sneak out the way I came in and get all my... There's not a secret way out of here? Whoa, human blood? This has to be worth something, right? It's worth nothing. I'm taking it. That has to be worth something. I'm sorry. It's human blood. Yeah, I'm gonna quick save this shit. Okay. Cheap wine, Westfield wine. Wait, there might be like grillions of dollars worth of wine here. Ooh, Tamika Vintage 399. That's worth 35 bucks. Hold on. Ooh, yep, 399. We just gotta load up our pockets really quick. I don't know if you guys are wine heads or not, but Tamika 399 is like, come on. You can't get better than that. 415, that's an alright vintage. It's alright, it's alright. We got on this side. Do we have anything good? You got anything better than 399? No? Nothing? These are the royal... This is the royal wine cellar. All you got's 399? Swill. This is absolute swill. When I was in my prison cell, I made better wine in the toilet. Okay. We can continue the breakout. It's telling me to go to the right, but what about all my stuff? What about all my things? My personal belongings? Oh yeah, hit the wait button, see what year it is. Can't wait while trespassing, dude. Everybody knows that. I didn't know that. Am I still trespassing? Oh shit, where the fuck am I? That's the county hall. This game's free on Game Pass? Oh fuck, I bought it. Shit, I wish I knew that. Yeah, I bought this shit on Steam. Okay. Oh my god, that's a... Yeah, it's a 34-year-old thing of wine. That's pretty good. It's a pretty good vintage. Okay, dude. We're almost out of sight of the castle gates. Look at that goofy run. I think the, is my stuff just down there in the chest forever and always? I just have to go back and steal it? Okay. Tell me your secrets, Mr. Argonian.
Anything for my savior.
Oh, thank you.
He told me to give this message to any member of the Thieves Guild that asked about him or a book. Look under the bush near the well, behind Nerastarel's house. I was gonna take it for myself, but I owe you a great debt. You should take it.
Okay. Thank you.
Safe journey.
Thank you, pimp. I hope to see you in the Thieves Guild, not in the next prison cell I go to. Every time I turn around, you're in fucking prison doing something. Something stupid. All right, now I'm going to go back and see if I can get my things back from the castle. Okay, dude. By the way, those of you that were criticizing, like, oh, Skingrad's not that so great. Look at this place. Beautiful cathedral. Flying buttresses on it. Beautiful. It's beautiful. Awesome curtain wall that goes around. Great architecture. It's just, this place looks beautiful. I don't see the gripe. I don't see the gripe. Skingrad is at least an S-tier civilization or S-tier town in this game. Shadenhall's better. Shadenhall does kind of have this beautiful, like, Tudor, quaint village aesthetic that I do find nice, but I'm more of a metropolitan man myself. Skingrad kind of has the opulence that I want. Whereas Shadenhall seems like a place where I'd love to go on a nice little walk, you know? That seems like a great place to retire to after my career's over with. All right. Let's see if I can get my shit back from this guy without him beating me up. Hey, pimp. So is that technically stealing now that I just stole my own stuff? It is. That fucking pisses me off so much. All my stuff's stolen. Are you kidding me? Did I do that wrong? I think I did that wrong. If all my own things are now stolen. Oops. I guess I could go back to jail, serve my time, and then go get my stuff. That's lame. I'm not doing that. I am going to... Where do I need to go? Quest. No, not independent thievery. I fucked that up. Quest. Lost histories. Open a map. It's in Skingrad? There's no way it's in Skingrad. Is it? Oh, it is. I thought it said a well in another town. In the bush next to the well. Oh, he just left it out here in the grass? This is nerd shit, dude. Just give me that. That's not even like that's not even a rare book. Am I correct on that one?
A coin for an old beggar.
No! Over my fucking dead body. I'm not giving to her. I just gave to a homeless guy one town over. Okay, I give him one coin. That should be enough for both of you.
You have found Theranos and the lost...
Yes.
Theranos is dead? I grieve for him, but at least you have the book. The Grey Fox has sought this book for many years. You have earned the reward. Here is your payment.
Sweet.
The hunter can pay his fines.
Oh, I don't even have a bounty anymore.
This one...
I think I could have just talked to that guy, the jailer, and just gotten my shit back. Forget about it. I'm okay having them. You know what? Whatever. I can talk to Squeeva again. Just talk to Squeeva. You know what I'm going to do, pimps? I'm going to sit right here and I'm going to call it freaking quits. Because that way I can go edit something really quick. I want to spend the last couple minutes of my day editing. And just kind of sitting there decompressing. Is that okay with you? So, thank you guys for showing up. I'm going to stream some more of this if that's okay. Is that cool with you guys? Yeah, we like it when you stream. Oh, thank you guys for being so positive, being so nice to me. Let's see. Hold on. Let me go to the credits. I have a credit sequence. These are all the awesome people that subscribed. Lobster Phantom and everything. Thank you. Let's find someone to raid. I think there was a... Who did I see that was on earlier? Oh, it's Omid's birthday. I'm gonna raid him. Make sure to go tell him happy birthday. Wait, hold on. How do... I keep fucking up. I've like raided this other like Middle Eastern guy whose name is just Omid. His is Omid Live. Okay. Yeah. Raid. Omid Live. Make sure that you go tell him happy birthday. Tell him you love him. Tell him he's cool. And tell him he looks handsome. Say, Sam says you look handsome. All right, later, guys.